BigBarrBaby, what's going on, man? Y'all not speaking my mind. Man, I don't do this because of algorithms. I don't care about your algorithm, or I don't care about your money. I have my own career. So I'm not gonna let this internet thing take me under. That's why you don't see me on here doing 10 videos a day. But when I feel like I have something significant to talk about, I'm gonna speak on it. And I don't like the way they doing Diddy right now. I mean, you got to break down what is sexual trafficking and what is taking a woman from D.C. to Maryland to Virginia. Because right now I'm scared, y'all. Like, help me. Because if I meet a chick in D.C. and I say, you know what? It's this nice restaurant in Fells Point in Baltimore. And I take her to Baltimore, and I take her to the restaurant in Fells Point, and she says she don't like the food. Is that sex trafficking? Because I just went over the county line? Like, y'all making me scared to holler at girls now, man. If beautiful girls walking around, I'd be like, nah, I'm good. Because look, y'all messing up the game. Like, y'all making men not want to holler at girls no more. Cause I don't know what's up. I mean, Diddy paid her the 30 mil. Now, the kicking and the hitting, I'm not with all that violence. You know what I mean? But he paid you the 30 mil. You was having sex with his trainer that he was paying for. You know what I mean? Like, you could have been dipped out, you could have been left. Yeah, you said, what she say? Oh, I didn't leave because he could have came and found me with his the detectives. Girl, bye. Girl, it's a whole line of women waiting to get this good dirt diggler. So what you think this is? Ain't nobody tripping on you like that. Like, now you got this man, like, you already got the money and you got him in jail. Like, come on, man, that's a double whammy. Like, I mean, shit. All you need to do is put him on death row. Death row, we call that a hat trick. I mean, good God. And Diddy, what is you doing, Diddy? You got that big old plane. You know you're supposed to switch all out with Drizzy or Duval. And you're supposed to head to Cuba with Tupac or whoever over there, Sada Shakur, whoever. Why are you gonna come to back to New York for turn yourself in? Because you don't want your kids to see you on TV as a fugitive? Boy, it's a whole lot of fugitives out here. Don't nobody care about that. Look, kiss your kids goodbye. Love you. Pablo Escobar would have fled and never got caught if it wasn't for his family. He loved his family that much. And we obviously know you love everybody. Your family, the boys, the girls, the mans, the women's. But I don't like what they doing today. Cause what's the charge? What's the charge? Is it narcotics? Is it drugging people? Is it rape? Is it sexual battery? I mean, what's the charge? You know what I mean? Because I'm a man of logic. And this doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I mean? Like, Diddy didn't I haven't heard one person come out and say he put handcuffs on my wrist and put the gun to my head and made me swallow the pills. I ain't heard not one person say he had his security grab me up off the sidewalk, throw me in the van, and blindfold me, take me to Epstein Island, and have his way with me. And I woke up with my butt sore. So, man, let's just watch this, man, because they're starting to get on my nerves now. Y'all doing way too much for me, man. What's the charge?
Sean Combs stood in Times Square and was handed a key to New York City. Today, he's been indicted and will face justice in the Southern District of New York.
One of the most famous names in the hip-hop world is now facing 3 charges in federal court. Many people have come forward in recent months to accuse Sean Diddy Combs of abuse, sex trafficking, drug possession, and more, but now the federal government is getting involved and promising to bring down the rap mogul's alleged criminal empire. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
Hey, Jesse Weber. Don't tell any fibs. Keep it real with me. That's all I ask of you.
No matter how powerful or wealthy or famous you may be, no one should doubt our commitment on that.
Talk about a day in the legal and crime world. And today, it all centers around Sean Diddy Combs. And all of these details and filings in his new criminal case, and we're going to break it down for you right now, give you everything you need to know. So,
I'm sure you will.
District of New York
black man on trial with $billions. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you would have did it to Jack Johnson back in the 1940s if he ain't knock all y'all crackers out.
his bidding, whether that was obtaining drugs or performing sexually or cleaning up after apparent sex acts. Now, we've, of course...
Sex acts? What you mean? Just having sex?
In November of last year, Cassandra Ventura, Cassie
What's the definition of a sex
filed
act?
a huge lawsuit against him, claiming that he abused her physically, sexually, emotionally for years before she was finally able to get away. Now, Combs denied everything she had to say in her filing. He settled the lawsuit with her just one day after it was filed, but we know that set off a chain reaction. Multiple other lawsuits against him and even against his son were filed alleging sexual abuse, sex trafficking, illegal narcotics possession, violence. Then, in March of this year, Homeland Security agents, they show up at Combs' homes in both Miami and Los Angeles, search warrants in hand. They raided both locations, seemingly collecting a huge amount of evidence, which we will get through in a moment. And we learned at the time that this was connected to a sex trafficking investigation out of the Southern District of New York, but we didn't know all the exact details. Well, you fast forward to this week, and Combs was officially arrested Monday night at the Park Hyatt Hotel in New York out in Manhattan. According to his defense team, he had been booked there since September 5th, that was nearly 2 weeks ago, and he was in town in anticipation of the charges being filed, which is important because now that Combs has been arrested and charged, he says this is an example to show he's not a flight risk. He's been cooperative. However, when U.S. Attorney Damian Williams, again from the Southern District of New York, held a press conference and was asked about Combs' cooperation in this case, he seemed skeptical.
Let me just say this. I think that generally with increasing frequency, the word cooperative or cooperating has taken on tremendous elasticity, and it no longer really bears any relation to what the word means when we use it in a very specific context. So responding to lawful process and the like does not qualify as cooperation when we use that term here.
Now, there are still questions about future filings, possible charges against co-conspirators, whether Combs will be hit with additional charges. What we do know is we are now getting a look at what the prosecution believes they can prove. And that brings me to this major indictment against Sean Combs. So, prosecutors filed documents in federal court that lay out the accusations against Combs and his associates. Although, to be clear, Combs is the only one named in this filing for now. He faces 3 charges: racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Now, during a hearing on Tuesday, Combs entered a not guilty plea to every charge. And if he is convicted of all charges, Combs faces a minimum of 15 years in prison with the possibility that the 54-year-old could spend the rest of his life behind bars. That's what we're talking about here. So we're going to break down each of these counts for you, as well as more on why Combs says he should be allowed out on bail while he waits trial. And let's start with the indictment. It's 14 pages, jam-packed with information. I want to hit the highlights. So first, right out of the gate, the government lays out some pretty damning accusations. Quote, for decades, Sean Combs, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, a.k.a. P. Diddy, Diddy, a.k.a. P. D, Love, they, throughout the course of this indictment, refer to him by his many monikers, the defendant abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Combs relied on the employees, resources, and influence of the multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Which brings me now to count one, racketeering conspiracy. So the main idea here is that there is a criminal agreement, an agreement to engage in racketeering. And racketeering is when there is a criminal enterprise, it's like organized crime, a grouping of people who break the law. They commit crimes. Now, it doesn't need to be Sean Combs Breaks the Law LLC. You don't need an official company. Just an organized group of people, organized crime. And a criminal enterprise is supposed to have a common goal. So whether it was to benefit financially, whether it was to satisfy Sean Combs' sexual desires, whether it was to protect him, there has to be a common goal in mind. We're seeing this actually, I should say, in the Young Thug trial out of Georgia. Big thing for the prosecution is they have listed a number of different crimes. They're trying to say this wasn't done in an individual capacity, but it was done to further that gang. Similar idea here. Okay. Now also, as you're going to see here, in a racketeering case, there are numerous predicate crimes. These are underlying crimes that Combs is not specifically charged with, like arson or kidnapping or forced labor, but they are crimes under the umbrella of the larger criminal enterprise. By the way, I should tell you, the racketeering allegations that we see in this indictment are very consistent with the allegations put forward by Rodney Little Rod Jones, Combs' former producer, who was one of the people that filed a sexual assault lawsuit against him and said there were violations of racketeering law. In fact, although no one is specifically named in this indictment, you can kind of see who those alleged victims of Combs are, their allegations, that they were the basis for the charges here, especially Cassandra Ventura. Because we all know that when that video back in 2016 was released by CNN a few months ago of Sean Combs purportedly beating Cassandra Ventura in a hotel elevator bank, that was publicized for the whole world to see and he apologized for on Instagram. That is mentioned specifically in this indictment.
Okay. But he paid for that. Did he not? Did he not pay $30 million? I mean, come on, man. You can't charge a man twice. I don't even want to put this right here, man. I'm tired of all this microphone checker, microphone checker. You can't charge a man twice for the same charge. That's double jeopardy. Like, ooh, she been planning this too. That girl's crafty. Cause why she ain't bring that video out and then hit him with the civil suit? That ain't what she did. Cause that video been out for about 2006 or something. So she hit him with the civil suit first, got the 30 mil, then waited a couple months and bought the video. Boy, talk about strategic. That girl been waiting. And you know what made me so mad? You know what made me so mad, y'all? This what made me so mad. Because women always getting away with this type of stuff. And it's getting to the point where it ain't even fair. Like, I've never heard a man get away. Man, you know how many girls done beat my ass? I'm talking about, man, they drunk, they come over the crib, they want that good Dirk Diggler. I don't feel like giving you no Dirk Diggler because you drunk. Don't nobody want that sloppy vagina that you trying to throw up on me. Wait till the morning and let me get it right. Plus, I get morning wood. I don't even like to hit it at nighttime, especially not 4 o'clock in the morning after the club with your breath smelling like Tito's and Black and Mild. And shit. all that perfume, you got all that ain't even real perfume. It's that little body spray you done got from Rainbow. With your weave still on, with your eyelashes, them little bat lashes, them little little bat lashes. You ain't even take your all that makeup. Nah, we ain't doing that. So I like to get it in the morning with that morning wood in. So the fact that they were so strategic in the way that they played the game just lets me know, man, this shit right here is deeper than rap.
Now, reading from the indictment, it says, quote, the defendant and others, known and unknown, participated in unlawful and other activities related to the conduct of the Combs Enterprises affairs. These individuals included certain Combs business employees, such as members of Combs security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors, as well as other close associates of Combs. Now, one of the most startling examples of Combs' alleged control over those around him came from the description of apparent sex parties called freak-offs. This is something that Ventura and others alleged in their lawsuits. What are they? Well, the indictment says Combs and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise wielded the power and prestige of Combs' role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into Combs' orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Combs then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sex acts with male commercial sex workers that Combs referred to as, among other things, freak-offs.
So basically, he threatened you romantically to take that dick. So basically, he told you, I'm gonna make you a star. I'm wishing on the star to find out who you are. I'm wishing on a dream to follow what it means. And I wish that on a rainbow in the sky. And I wish that on... So this not funny. But this sound like the same thing, what's that boy name? The other little R. Kelly. This sound like R. Kelly case all over again. Boy, how you let him get you twice? Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. You won't fool me twice. Hey, Diddy. Hey, Diddy. Man, I don't know what made you come back to New York. I don't know what you thought 50 million was gonna do. You probably thought, shit, 50 million is a lot of money. I'm getting this money, they're gonna let me go. But El Chapo had more money than that. Boy, look, you 54. They gonna hit you with 25 with an elbow. Anyway, you might as well took your chances and fled, my boy. Boy, you could be under a bunker right now, all the way in Ecuador. Boy, chilling, eating nuts. I mean not nuts. Sorry. eat avocados. Oh God. Oh, this is not funny. This is so not funny. I'm really not trying to make light of this, because this is a serious situation. Because Diddy is like the young people's Bill Cosby. He's like who Bill Cosby was to my mother. Everybody done put a little extra jello pudding in the pudding pop. All right, go ahead.
Freak-offs were elaborate and produced sex performances that Combs arranged, directed, I'm not going to say the next part, basically pleasured himself during and off.
He basically was cuckolding. He basically was sitting in the corner, cuckolding that cock. While he watching this girl take that. Hey, Paul, let me tell you something. I wish I wish another nigga would fuck my bitch. You know what I'm talking about? First of all, I ain't got no. So you can't say you fuck my bitch anyway. She for the street. You got her? Good for you. You know what I'm saying? Good for you. You know what I'm saying? But look here. Man, I ain't about to sit in no corner cuckold. Like he did something. He basically, that's some power type shit. Cause like just hit me out though. Hit me out how that's power. How he tripped out on power. Dang, I gotta make sure my camera. Can y'all see me? Am I clear from here? Can you picture me rolling? So, y'all know how you watch porn? You know what I mean? In the morning or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you watching it. And you get to that point, you hope your ancestors ain't watching, then you stroke that joint. He did it in real life. Like, he real life had real porn in his house. Like, he took the computer and brought it out the computer. You know what I'm saying? Or he went into the computer. You know what I'm saying? Like he actually watching in real, like, damn, I wonder what that's like though. You know what I'm saying? You got the girl right there, she's sitting right there. You know what I'm saying? But not your girl though. I don't know, I guess it's more intimate if you know the girl as opposed to if you don't know the girl. But I don't know. That's kind of weird to me. I mean, I done seen cuckold as a genre. You know, I ain't see it. You know, I'm just saying I'm scrummaging through my webpage and there it is, cuckold. You know, you see some crackers with cheese who got that teeny weeny, short, man. And the wife just want to get banged. And the man is sitting there like, yeah, bang my wife, give my wife pleasure, or, you know, like the older man with the young woman or whatever. He wants his wife to get pleasure, possibly because they're in Vegas and she can't orgasm and he wants to give her an orgasm or make her dreams come true. So he finds the big, bulky black man and pleasure his wife, but you never think a black man do no shit like that. Like, first of all, baby girl, let me hit the gas station and give me a rhino pill, or give me a Cialis or Viagra, or get that cock pump or cock ring, but that joint gonna get up. You know what I'm saying? Give me 2 bottles of Henny, a Smirnoff, and 2 tacos. It's go time. Stop playing with me.
And electronically recorded. In arranging these freak-offs, Combs, with the assistance of members and associates of the Combs enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial sex workers across state lines and internationally. Freak-offs occurred regularly, sometimes lasted multiple days, and often involved multiple commercial sex workers. So this is all.
Okay, so look. If I'm gonna have me a freak off, I ain't trying to get nobody from DC. I ain't trying to get nobody from my city. Like, so when I'm going to work tomorrow, I could accidentally bump into you at Starbucks and, you know, banged out my wife the previous night. And everybody know, back in the day, 2011, 2012, they had that Gussie class. That good MDMA was out here, that good Molly. You gonna stay up for about 3-4 days now. This ain't no something you taking and then you take 400 grams and then now you gotta wait for the come down and you just wanna go to sleep and you gotta be to work in 6 hours. Nah, that's not what this is. We about to, and I'm speaking about myself. We about to take the next 4 days off PTO, because they owe us PTO anyway. You know what I'm saying? You might as well use it. We're going to take the next 4 days off. We're going to get that good C class, my boy. The one that don't make you sweat, my boy. The one that gets you tingling, my boy. Oh, bitch. And we going to be up 4 days, you and me. We going back and forth like a Mike Tyson fight, except for instead of 3 rounds, matter of fact, we ain't take Mike Tyson out of the picture because he a little freak too. We're going Muhammad Ali style. 15 rounds. No. Take him out the picture. He'll. I don't want to bring the Muslim man in. We're going Jack Johnson back in 1940 when he was hitting all of them. This one, that one. We're going 4 days off of C-class. Stop playing.
It's also kind of a flavor of the sex trafficking charge, which we'll get to a little bit later. During freak-offs, Combs distributed a variety of controlled substances to victims, in part to keep the victims obedient and compliant. Sometimes, unbeknownst to the victims, Combs kept videos he filmed of victims engaging in sex acts with commercial sex workers. After freak-offs, Combs and the victims typically received IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and drug use.
Okay. So the fact that he gave you IV fluids, he gave you a TPM banana bag, total parenteral nutrition, he gave you a D5W to get your sugars, fluids back up. He done hit you with the 1 liter normal saline, whole bolus. He trying to get you back right. So that doesn't contribute to he's not a monster. He flying out dick from across the country. He getting you, you know what I'm saying? Good dick. He probably flying you that Congolese dick, that Kenyan dick, that Senegalese dick. He give you good car. You know what I'm saying? So you coming crazy. You orgasming crazy. You know what I'm saying? The only problem I have is him cuckolding. You know what I'm saying? But he paying for it. It's my party. I can have what I want to. I'm what I want to. You would try to if it happened to you. Like, it's his party. Let him do what he want to do, bro. It's a party. He just said it. He recorded it. So he can watch it later while he by himself and get a stroke off. I mean, what's wrong with that? We used to do that back in the day. I know I did. With permission. Shit, y'all know how to record this. So shit, when you go to work, shit, I could, you know what I mean? I could watch my, ain't nothing like watching yourself beating that back out, beating the brakes off of something, and watching yourself and stroking to yourself. You like, dang, that's a good move right there. I gotta work on that move. Hold on, I gotta work on that 3-pump and that funky roll. I gotta funky roll that thing better. I gotta put more funk in that roll. Hold up.
The indictment then provides more details about what Combs expected his employees to do before, during, and after these sessions.
Now, Combs did not do this all on his own. As I mentioned, Combs has been charged with RICO conspiracy. He used his business and employees of that business and other close associates to get his way. Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household staff.
Oh, shit. What did I tell y'all? Him! He's the leader of the TMB. Puffy about to snitch. Kareem Akbar! Puffy about to tell on everybody, man. Try to get a lighter sentence. You got to give it all up, Puffy. Ooh, the music industry is about to be no more. Jay-Z, Usher. I can tell you a few names right now off the top of my head. Jermaine Dupri, Tip, Meek Mill. Who else who else y'all think was up inside there? All the music executives, Dr. Dre, Jimmy Iovine, Bow Wow, Burna Boy, I hope you on there.
The indictment alleges that those individuals facilitated the freak-offs. They booked the hotel rooms and stocked them with the supplies, including drugs, baby oil, personal lubricant, extra linens, and lighting.
Now, you know what? I did watch this video. It's like a Chinese video or something, where they use the baby oil, where they put the silicone sheets down, and they use baby oil and they glide on each other, like gliding or something. It's some sort of massage where you glide on people, where you glide. I don't know the name of it, but everybody know KY jelly is better than baby oil. I mean, but damn, he was prepared. Cause I never came to a party like that. I just came with the Magnum. You know what I mean? I never had a, you know, if the vagina get dry, put a little saliva on that thing. Lather that thing up, get back in there. You know what I mean? I never thought about Johnson Johnson. You know what? I'm about to go get me some baby oil too. Shit. But dang, how many do I need? 1,000? Imagine me walking out of Costco with 1,000 baby oils in my car. Now I'm gonna get 500. Yeah, I'm gonna do half. Cause I don't want nobody to think I'm a freaky yeah boy, I'm a 6'9" God. Baby oil. I'm learning. And lubricant. And sheets. Yeah. I'm gonna get the silicone sheets. You right, you know what? Man, cause I done had girls in my bed and I'm hitting them. And some girls love to splash. And I don't mind the splash when I hit that spot. Cause you know, I'm trying to hit you with high note. You know what I'm saying? If you're not hitting that high note, then I ain't really trying to hit it. I'm trying to hit the back of that button. I'm trying to make you splash. And I know it's urine, you know what I'm saying? But still, shit, urines, come, I don't get what it is. I know something gonna splash up out of there. You know what I mean? I know when I look down and I see that puddle, I still gotta sleep in that bed. And that puddle don't dry so easy because it go through the mattress. You know what I'm saying? And it take a while for that thing to dry. That's why I don't like making girls splash. So I'm gonna get the extra linen. Let me write that down, matter of fact. Extra linen, 500 baby oil, and extra KY jelly. Always keep on hand. Got you. Let's go.
The hotel rooms got damaged. They helped clean it up. They arranged for victims and commercial sex workers to travel for the freak-offs, and they delivered large quantities of cash to Combs to pay for the commercial sex workers.
Okay, so what's wrong with that? I mean, I wish somebody could fly me out. So you flew me first class, and you about to pay me for some Dirk Diggler? Shit. All you gotta do is tell me you record. Man, look, you can record me. I don't care. I mean, we only live once. I mean, shit. When I get old, shit, can I get the tape so I can show it to my grandkids? So I can show you how granddaddy used to pop it back in the day. He used to pop, lock and drop it. Pop, lock and drop it. Hey, pop, lock and drop it. Hey, pop, lock, hey, pop, lock and drop it. You know what I'm saying? So you flew me out first class, gave me some ass, and gave me some cash. Sound like a good deal to me. I mean, and gave me good drugs, good C class, kept me up 3 days, music, popping. I mean, man, can somebody do that to me, please? I mean, I would appreciate it. I mean, that sounds like a good time to me, y'all. That's not victim. That I ain't shit. You do that for me, you're a friend for life. We have no concerns.
According to the indictment, in or about March of 2024, during searches of Combs' residences in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, California law enforcement seized various freak-off supplies, including narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. Wow, you talk about.
Now, when y'all say narcotics, what y'all talking about? Because they're different type of narcotics. Y'all talking about heroin, y'all talking about coke, y'all talking about GHB, y'all talking about ketamine, y'all talking about Ultran, Roxy, Set, Percocet. Like, what y'all talking about? Because we got classified as narcotics now. You know, if Diddy up inside there making people put a rubber band around their arm and putting that thing on the spoon and lighting the spoon up and shoot that now that's a whole different type of narcotic. Now he deserves his time. But if y'all just taking a look, even though I've never played with my nose, and some GHB, man, I heard that's a party drug. I heard that's that good. So, some of that 2CB, some of that 2C that they got up here in UK, man, I heard that's a good, man, I'm still waiting to try that. And some mushrooms, boy, and if he has some promethazine in it, with some codeine in there, with some Xans, oh, bitch. Oh, Diddy. I love you, Diddy. Diddy got me feeling good in the motherfucker. Cause life get hard. Your boss tell you why you 3 minutes late to work today. You been sitting in traffic for 2.5 hours. And you stay at work every day 2 hours over and you don't get paid. And here comes Diddy to save the day. Ta-da! And you telling me that he deserves jail for that? Like, describe the drugs, first of all. You know what I mean? Describe it. You know what I'm saying? Does he got that pilocarpine? You know what I'm saying? The one that make that make the saliva come out, make that pussy. You know what do you got? Show me what you got.
Evidence here to prove these claims. Now, federal prosecutors allege
Look at Diddy.
used the threat of violence as well as actual assaults to keep his alleged victims in line. The indictment reads, quote, Combs maintained control over his victims through, among other things, physical violence, promises of career opportunities, granting and threatening to withhold financial support, and by other coercive means, including tracking their whereabouts, dictating the victim's appearance, monitoring their medical records, controlling their housing, and supplying them with controlled substances. During and separate from freak-offs, Combs, among other things, hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims at times by the hair. These assaults often resulted in injuries that took days or weeks to heal. Combs also threatened victims' careers and livelihoods, including if they resisted participating in freak-offs. So a majority of that indictment covered.
Okay, that's not a power trip to me. That's like a little power trip, you know, dragging by the head and all that. I don't know about all that. That's monitoring medical records. I don't know. That sounds like a power trip. It sounds like, you know, I'm invincible. I'm on top of the world. You know, like, it sounds like a power trip, like an ego trip. Like, you know, man, imagine how that feels, though. Not the dragging of the hair and the monitoring the medical records. Like, that's a little creepy. But dang, imagine just how it feels to just have the world, the whole wide world in your hands. I got the whole world in my hands. I got the whole world in my hands. I got the whole wide world in my hands. Damn. Whew. I can just tell you, sit here. You, take out the trash. You, go wash the dishes. You, just sit on the bench and wait until tomorrow. We're gonna substitute you out for and the life he lived. 30 years he lived his life. And I can't even get a text back. Boy.
There's that first count, racketeering conspiracy. Now I want to talk quickly about the other 2 counts that he faces. So count 2 is a charge of sex trafficking of a victim by using force or coercion or fraud to have that person engage in commercial sex acts that are either for money or something of value is promised or given. And there were allegations that Combs had made promises of opportunities and so forth to get what he wanted. And he's also charged with count 3, which is related to the transportation of people for purposes of prostitution. Now, quick side note about this. This is a comprehensive indictment, but it doesn't have a lot of details about what evidence prosecutors have to prove all of this. It also doesn't include every allegation that has been asserted against Combs in numerous civil complaints. For instance, there is nothing regarding minors. You know, there's been a lot of allegations that there were minors.
No minors. Clap for the black man. Clap for the Kelly. Kelly was going to the McDonald's playground. Back in the day, you remember McDonald's? You used to have a playground. You know, now that's some mangy, psycho, somatic, bipolar, schizophrenic, psychosis. Like you need to get mentally evaluated. You mess around with little kids, man. He did this with adults, grown, consenting adults that could have at any moment fled the country, took the money and ran. I know you saying, oh, they were scared. He was gonna come find me. Child, this Diddy. Girl, you would be replaced like that. Like Beyonce said, to the left, everybody left, to the left, and my God, and you would be replaced, not even by tomorrow. You would be, have y'all ever ordered a pizza? And the pizza didn't come the way you wanted it? And you called Pizza Hut, Lido's, Domino's, back, you said, man, there's that pizza there. And they said, oh, we're sorry, sir. We'll replace that order. And they came back and gave you another pizza, and you gave them that bum pizza. That's how, like, coercion. Where the hell did you get that? Who was coerced? I mean, you're a grown, consenting adult. You like the GHB. You like the ketamine. You like the freaky. Everybody get horny. Everybody gets horny. Look, thank God I've been practicing my celibacy. But man, because it makes you feel different when you practice your celibacy. You go out, you ain't thinking, oh, I gotta get me a number, or I gotta get her, or I gotta get her, I gotta, you know what I mean? It make you focus, like you ain't even thinking about the girls. Like you like, man, girl, step to the side and let me do what I gotta do. It's a certain type of confidence you walk with, you know, when you ain't just thinking about that yabba. You know what I'm saying? I call that I call that coochie that yapper. Cause that thing go grrr, cause it feels so good. It feels so good to let that yapper go.
At these Combs parties, which we had heard before in these other allegations and these other complaints. Nothing about minors here. Now, Damian Williams, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, said that it's possible more charges could be on the way. He wouldn't confirm it.
Of course.
Others said nothing's off the table. So
Of course there's going to be more charges.
There wasn't enough evidence to prove that there were minors at these parties or Combs did anything criminal.
I bet you y'all going to find more evidence to prove it.
A lot more information from another filing from the prosecution. I'll get to that in a second. First, I have to get to the defense because in a letter filed with the court on Tuesday, Combs' defense team laid out a proposed bail package for their client, why he should be released pending trial. And they explained why his actions over the last 6 months point toward cooperation, not avoidance. They also call out the government for seemingly making things more difficult than they had to be. His team writes, quote, through counsel, Mr. Combs promptly told the government that he had voluntarily come to New York, offered to tell them specifically where he was, and offered to turn himself in at the appropriate time. Even though Mr. Combs came to New York, authorized his lawyers to tell the government of his location, and offered to self-surrender, the government effected an arrest last evening. This, we know, is the government's right. However, that he traveled to New York to self-surrender is also something the court should consider. So what is this bail package that the defense outlines? Well, here are some of the main points. One, a $50 million bond co-signed by Combs, his mother, his sister, the mother of his eldest daughter, and his 3 adult sons. That $50 million would be secured by the equity in Combs' Miami home. The appraised value of that home on Star Island is $48 million. So in other words, this is what he's saying. You can secure this. You can know that I'm not going to flee the country. I'm not going to break the bail conditions. I'm putting this home up. The defense says that Combs paid off the remaining mortgage, $18 million, so he could use it to secure a bond. The equity in his mother's home in Miami could also be used as collateral.
So he already paid off the $18 million for the house that he so he was getting ready. Okay, so I get it. So okay. So the house was cost 50. He had already paid down 48. And he just went ahead and paid the other 18 now so that he could let them know that not only am I putting my house up for collateral, the whole 50 mil, I'm not going anywhere. I'm be on Star Island, Miami, chilling. So he didn't even think he was going to get locked up. He just thought he was going to go in, take a picture, and dip back out. That's the worst feeling in life. His lawyer probably told him, yeah, I mean, 50 mil is a large sum of money. I mean, they're going to want this. I mean, it is. I mean, because, I mean, at least to fight the case. So was he prepared to go to jail? Has he ever even been in jail before? Dang. Cause why would you pay 18? Boy, they gonna drain you. Boy, this is called financial slavery. Ain't no physical slavery no more. They bleeding that boy. Cause now, Star Island, they done got the money for the house. They done got that 18 about you. They done got the whole 50 about you now. So the house already paid for. You know what I'm saying? The house paid for. But guess what? If the house is unencumbered for too long and don't nobody live in that house for too long, guess who coming to get that house? The government.
And the letter goes on to say that Combs' travel would be restricted to the Southern District of Florida and the Southern District of New York. Combs apparently surrendered his passport to his attorneys right after the raids on his home, and several of his family members, including his children, have surrendered their passports too.
Damn fool.
Combs' counsel says
Damn fool. Boy, who remember like a couple weeks ago, or months ago, whatever, when we saw Diddy flying from LA, and I was like, go Diddy, go Diddy, go Diddy, go. Run nigga, run nigga, run nigga, run. You know what I'm saying? And this idiot stopped in Miami. I said, oh my God, this got to be the craziest one. I'm thinking he going to Russia to hang with Vladimir Putin in there. You know they gonna hide you. Or I'm thinking he going. Diddy, you thought it was a game, but you fucked around and found out. Man, them people's don't a fool. Have you ever been locked up before? Like, them peoples ain't playing with you, boy. When they want you, they gonna get you. And it's so crazy how before that tape came out, it was like, oh, everybody just wanted civil. Everybody just wanted civil suit. But I knew. I kept saying this. I was like, they gonna get him. Like, they gonna bring criminal charges. Cause more people gonna keep filing civils until somebody's upper echelon gonna say, no, we need to lock him up. Like, it's too many civil suits. And this is bad for young black men because now, you know, black people, like I tell you, I always say it, they like to build you up so they can tear you down. You know, and people always like to say, oh, you made it, black man, you made it. That's why I always tell people, I didn't make it because I'm a physician associate. I made it. I didn't make it because all it takes is for me to do one thing wrong. Boop, back to the ghetto I go. And I keep that in my mind every single day. Back to the ghetto I go. Back to digging through the trash for food. Going to the thrift store, begging for clothes. Life is so crazy, man. Like, you can take the elevator and just go up so fast. Even you can take the steps. But when you drop, you don't drop on the steps. You drop on the elevator. You know what I mean? Like, you can go up, like, financial-wise. You know, or you can take the steps and take your time and, you know, earn your keep. But when you fall, man, it's like someone pushes you off of a roof, off the top of a 76th floor roof.
He is currently working on selling his private plane, so he would be able to just jet off to some exotic locale that has no extradition with the United States. In the bail package information, it's also revealed that Combs wants to be under house arrest and would agree to GPS monitoring. The letter from Combs' attorneys also fires back at the assistant U.S. attorneys working on the case, saying they reached out to him in the days before the raids, but never got any reply. And then on March 25th,
Hell nah, he was getting high.
with a big show of force, which the attorneys insist was unnecessary. The filing also goes into Combs' philanthropic works, including his work with the Boys and Girls Club of America, his donations to open a truck.
Man, ain't nobody trying to hear that. Hey, man, when them people came to your house, man, with military raids and all that, man, you should, man, kiss the kids goodbye, man. Like, I can't tell you where I'm going because of plausible deniability. If you don't know, they can't do any polygraphs. They'll never find out. Kids, I'm 54 years old. I gave y'all a good life. Y'all have nothing to do with this. You know, you all got hundreds of millions of dollars. You won't see me again. I'm going to get my facial features reconstructed. I'm out. Because I know they coming to get me. And I know I didn't do anything. And I know how it is, Puffy. There are a lot of black men on death row right now who's saying the same thing as you. I ain't do nothing. I ain't do nothing. A lot of black men don't do nothing. But we still get 25 with the elbow. Man. And I ain't talking macaroni. When I say with the elbow, I'm talking life. Boy. I don't know what you was thinking. Man, look. I'm not gonna cap to y'all, bro. I wouldn't have even went and got me a lawyer. For what? For what? What I'm paying you for? Nigga, I'm out. Like, man, I got cash for days. Boy, I'm about to this cash I'm about to spread the cash out like Pablo Escobar did on Narcos. So some gonna be here, some gonna be there, some gonna be there, some gonna be there. I would have had cash buried up under a bunker in Utah. I would have had cash buried up on the bunker in Montana. I would have told Kanye, hey, Yeezy, I know you crazy, but I need to use your ranch in Wyoming real quick. Why? None of your business. But I'm gonna be out there in 2 days. Make sure you ain't there. Man, I'm digging, burn. Man, look, let me tell you something. I'm getting me one of them safety, fireproof boxes that I know Nipsey Hussle's talking about something. Don't believe in a safe, it's gonna get molded. Nigga, you only had $200,000. What type of, first of all, if you only had $100,000, $200,000 in a safe, Nipsey Hussle, how much was the safe? You had one of them Costco safes, one of them $50,000 safe. Diddy would have got him one of them titanium billion dollar safes. You know what I'm saying? One of them joints that shit. Man, you hit that joint with a RPG, it still ain't gonna open. Like, man. Diddy. Who's your homies? Have you ever been in the streets before? Oh my God, Diddy. What you thought? Everybody just liked you or something? Fool, people ain't like you since Biggie died. Ain't nobody like you since Pac died. Ain't nobody like you since 93. People got a deep, vehement hatred for you. Vehement dislike for you, my boy. Man, you tripping. Yeah, I wish that would have been me. Yeah, you wouldn't have seen my face ever again. Man, I'd have been in Sudan somewhere. Man, somewhere I could blend in. Man, look. You want to live on Star Island, talking about. You want to get your passport and fly to Star Island now, in New York. Boy, you got a federal charge, Dumbo. What you think niggas gonna be letting you just fly all around? You know what I mean? Even though the charge is whack. You know what I mean? It's a whack charge, like, you know, some sexual stuff. But man, this 2024, fool. This ain't 1994 when everybody was just, you know, doing their thing. Doing that, sexy. Come on, get with me. If you want to do them out all night long. Yeah. Ow. This ain't the 90s, my boy. Boy, they slaying you about that car. Boy, you get at a girl with that good yapper, and you do her dirty. Boy, don't cross that DC line and go to VA with that girl. That's sex trafficking. You better tell that girl, I don't drive. I take the metro. So meet me right there at the waterfront. You take your metro, I take my metro. That way, we ain't even come together. She got on the metro here by herself. I took the metro here by myself. Now we in VA together. But how do we get here? Separate. You can't hit me with sex trafficking. I'm not playing no more games.
His work fundraising to get PPE for frontline workers during the COVID-19 pandemic. At the end of the document, the defense team states Sean Combs has never evaded, avoided, eluded, or run from a challenge in his life. He will not start now. As he's handled every hardship, he will meet this case.
Yeah, we know he's never evaded, avoided, eluded, or run from a challenge in his life. But this is not a challenge. This is called a formidable obstacle. This is called your life on the line. This is called do or die. This is called death row or life in jail. This ain't no challenge, my boy. This ain't no hardship, my boy. This ain't no bump in the road, my boy. This ain't something that you can just pray to Jesus and pray your way out of this, my boy. This ain't something that you can pay your way out of this, my boy. Money, your money means nothing here. Matter of fact, they finna take all that money. Oh, boy, you about to be penniless. You and your kids. Back to the ghetto. You go.
Head on, he will work hard to defend himself, and he will prevail. Now, the prosecution had a different view. So the prosecution team also sent a letter to the judge defending their assertion that Combs should be locked up with no bail. Their letter states, quote, as reflected by the gravity of the charges in the indictment, the defendant is dangerous and poses an ongoing threat to the safety of the community. If released, he remains a serious risk of flight despite the conditions offered by his counsel. Most glaringly, the defendant also poses a significant risk of obstructing justice. The letter also goes into more detail about some of those specific situations that Combs was allegedly involved in that point to the lengths he would reportedly go to get what he wanted. For example, quote, the defendant ensured the victims would participate in freak-offs through coercion and violence. For instance, the defendant provided controlled substances, including ketamine, ecstasy, GHB, to female victims so that they could and would continue to engage in freak-offs despite...
Hold on. Did I hear the good drugs? Did I hear ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB? What did I just hear? Okay, hold on. I gotta read this for myself, y'all. The defendant ensured the victim will participate in free. Y'all love to use that freak off. What's a freak off? We just fucking like stop all that freak off shit. Like you about to get dick downs. Like stop all that freak off shit. Through coercion, violence, and man, first of all, I'm not about to beat you up, punch you all in your face, and then have sex with you with blood leaking all down your nose, your eye all swollen. Like, come on now. That sounds a little far-fetched. What was it? For instance, the defendant's controlled substance included ketamine, ecstasy, gamma, hydroxybutyrate, GHB, based on good drugs. To female victims so they could and will continue to engage in despite fatigue, physical and emotional exhaustion, and pain. Girl, you better keep on fucking. Girl, you better tap out. He got on that good job. You hear me? That's that good job. Additionally, both doing freak-offs are separate from freak-off. The defendant subjected female victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse. But what? Bitch, suck this dick. Hey, look, I done had so many girls. Bitch, suck that dick. They like that. Yes, daddy. Yeah, they like it. What are you gonna say? Can you pretty please lick my corpus cavernosum, and don't forget the testicles. Like, who talks like that doing sex? You like, man, girl, man, get on that thing, man, jump, man, pop, look, man, pop that thing for a real nigga, man, pop that thing for Big Dougie, pop it for Big Daddy, pop that thing. Big dude, call me Big Dude. When I'm up in that thing, Big Dude. Stop playing with me.
fatigue, physical and emotional exhaustion, and pain. Additionally, both during freak-offs and separate from freak-offs, the defendant subjected female victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse, in part to cause them to engage in freak-offs. The defendant hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged female victims, sometimes by their hair. At least a dozen witnesses will confirm that they personally observed the defendant's violence towards women and or the injuries sustained by women at the defendant's hand. Now, back to that 2016 video that I mentioned of Combs allegedly attacking Cassandra Ventura out in LA. They say in this letter, prosecution, they claim that Combs used money and influence to try to keep that video from getting out. Quote, when a member of hotel security staff intervened, the defendant attempted to offer their hotel security officer a stack of cash to ensure his silence. After the security guard refused the defendant's bribe, and after coordination between the defendant and his employees, the defendant's staff contacted other members of hotel security. Within days of the incident, the surveillance video disappeared from the hotel's server. Now, this is the exact allegations put forward by Cassandra Ventura, which makes you wonder, is she one of the cooperating witnesses with the government? You have to believe so. And clearly, there is something to be said that the prosecutors here are believing the account of Ventura and possibly these other alleged victims. It's not just them filing a lawsuit against Sean Combs. They are believing these allegations to substantiate criminal charges. That's big. Now, the letter also references another alleged incident that was first revealed in Ventura's lawsuit last fall, when she alleged that Combs set fire to fellow recording artist Kid Cudi's car when he seemed to show interest in Ventura. According to the filing, quote, in the early morning hours of December 22nd, 2011, the defendant and a co-conspirator kidnapped an individual at gunpoint to facilitate breaking into and entering the residence of individual one. Multiple witnesses would testify at trial to the events surrounding the kidnapping and break-in, the latter of which is corroborated by police reports and other records. Approximately 2 weeks later, the defendant's co-conspirator set fire to individual one's vehicle by slicing open the car's convertible top and dropping a Molotov cocktail inside the interior. Police and fire department reports extensively document the arson and conclude that the fire was intentionally set.
Man, Diddy know who to play with. He played with Kid Cudi. Because you know Kid Cudi is up. Look, you know who to play with like that. He was just trying to scare that little boy, man. He wasn't trying to kill that little boy, man. Diddy wouldn't did that. He wouldn't have did that to 50. He wouldn't have did that to Chris Brown. He definitely wouldn't have did that to me. He was just trying to scare that little boy. He wasn't trying to kill that little boy. And then he was just trying to like flex his muscles a little bit to his girl, like show her like, you know, I'm powerful. This is what I could do. You know, you know, because like when you do a lot of talking, when you do a lot of yabbing, yibba yabba, you gotta show some force behind your words. You know, you gotta show that your words have power. You gotta be poised. You know what I mean? You gotta show that you're stalwart. You know, so he probably like, yeah, this is what I could do to you, to scare you, type of. But that nigga wasn't trying to do nothing. If he would have did something, he would have did it. You know what I mean? He was just trying to. That's like. I don't know. It's all like some whole shit, but that's like you get into an argument with your significant other, and he slashed your tire. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. Like he slashed your tire or, you know, put antifreeze in your engine or or drain all your brake fluid. You know what I'm saying? So you got like skid into the side of a wall to stop. That's just all that is. He's just trying to scare you a little bit. He ain't trying to do nothing, man. He ain't trying to do nothing major, man. Because if a man want to take you out, man, he going to take you out. You know what I mean? Hey, come on. We talking about Diddy. Who's scared of Diddy? Diddy look like a type of dude that brush his hair 100 times when he wake up. Hey, bro, I bet you Kid Cudi probably shit on himself. Oh my God. Oh my God. The car's blown up. Boy, if you don't call your insurance company and get you another vehicle. Go ahead with that, man. Y'all too much.
Multiple witnesses would also testify to the defendant bragging about his role in destroying individual
Go
one's
ahead,
car.
Daddy.
So again, prosecutors really taking Cassandra Ventura's allegations as true. And again, while he's not specifically charged with arson, that is a part of the racketeering charge. Goes on, the prosecution, they raised concerns about Combs' access to weapons as well, especially firearms. The letter includes photographs of weapons found in Combs' homes. Again, this is all the reason why they believe he should be denied bail. In March of 2024, during searches of the defendant's residences in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, California, law enforcement seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 AR-15s, each with defaced serial numbers, as well as a large capacity drum magazine. As pictured in a close-up image, the serial number of one of the AR-15s is visibly bored through and obscured. By the way, that in and of itself is a federal crime. We did an episode about the recent potential shooting of former President Donald Trump. That individual is charged with that crime. The filing goes on to state, quote, 2 of the 3 defaced AR-15s were found in the defendant's Miami bedroom closet, stored broken down in parts, along with magazines that were loaded with ammunition. In addition, 6 legally purchased guns with serial numbers, some of which were stored in gun safes, were recovered from the defendant's residences. Now, from there, in this bail letter, Combs is also accused of trying to influence witnesses. Prosecutors state, quote, specifically following the November 2023 lawsuit, the defendant and intermediaries acting on his behalf reached out to potential victims and witnesses to the alleged conduct, including individuals he did not speak to regularly and had not spoken to in years, to attempt to feed those victims and witnesses false narratives about the defendant's criminal conduct. For example, on or about November 19, 2023, just 3 days after the filing of the lawsuit described above, this is the Cassandra Ventura one, the defendant made multiple calls to another victim of his sexual abuse and recorded certain of those calls under the cell phone, using the cell phone of a co-conspirator. During the calls, the defendant repeatedly asked for the victim's support and friendship and attempted to convince the victim that she had willingly engaged in acts constituting sexual abuse. The defendant also assured the victim that if she needed the defendant to, she ain't got to worry about nothing else. Quote, even more concerning, since learning about the criminal investigation, including following the execution of the search warrants at his residences, Combs contacted other witnesses on multiple occasions, including other witnesses who had received grand jury subpoenas, basically accusing him of obstruction. And by the way, the prosecution also points out that many of the crimes that Combs is accused of happened in his home. So putting him on house arrest, they would say, doesn't do much to mitigate potential wrongdoing inside his residence. Now they talk about the weight of the evidence, how much they have. Remember I said there wasn't a lot in the indictment? Well, here they talk about the weight of the evidence as a factor to consider in whether to deny bail. Quote, as to witnesses, to date, the government has conducted interviews with over 50 victims and witnesses, many of whom saw or experienced the defendant's abuse. Many of these witnesses corroborate one another, and their accounts are consistent with the other types of evidence discussed below. The government only expects that number to continue to grow, given that the investigation, which is now public, is ongoing. And also, the prosecution revealed in its filing that the government has seized more than 90 cell phones, laptops, cloud storage accounts, hard drives, thumb drives, cameras, a surveillance system that they say shows this criminal activity. So based on that, we can assume that the evidence the Southern District of New York has against Combs is likely vast. Quote, the evidence also consists of physical evidence, which was seized pursuant to search warrants executed at the defendant's residences in Los Angeles and Miami, as well as on his person and the persons of certain co-conspirators. In addition to the firearms and electronics discussed above, the physical evidence also includes other evidence of freak-offs, including over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and personal lubricant. Pretty disgusting. Now, we've gone over the 14-page indictment filed against Combs in the Southern District of New York, plus letters regarding bail sent to the judge by both the prosecution and the defense. You can check out the sidebar episode that we did there. We kind of did a deep dive. You can check it out on the Long Crime Network YouTube page. But right now, what we want to talk about is something else. So the documents, what they do is they give us a better idea of what Homeland Security agents found inside of Combs' homes in Los Angeles and Miami when they were raided back in March, as well as other evidence that they have collected during the course of this investigation. The Southern District of New York is well known for being one of the top courts in the country. According to statistics from the United States Sentencing Commission in fiscal year 2023, the SDNY had more than 1,000 cases, and of those cases, 94% of the defendants ended up taking a plea, while only 6% chose to take their case to trial. And the court's conviction rate is reported to be 95%. So in other words, if the Southern District of New York prosecutors file charges against you, it's safe to assume they've done their homework and think that they have a really solid case. So the U.S. attorney here was asked during a news conference on Tuesday why the charges against Combs were brought in New York instead of Florida or California.
Well, I'm biased. I'm the U.S. Attorney in the Southern District of New York. I think that we have an outstanding track record of bringing some of the most impactful, sprawling, complex, difficult sex trafficking, human trafficking, labor trafficking, you name it. The Southern District of New York can do it, and so we're very proud of that. And so the scope and complexity of this investigation isn't something that we ran from, it's something that we embrace, and we will continue to do that.
Okay, I want to talk about some of the strongest pieces of evidence right now against Sean Combs, the rapper-producer. And to do that, I want to bring in two special guests. I'm joined by Colin Schmidt, retired FBI agent, CEO of Kronos Investigations, and Robin Nunn, trial attorney and federal litigator. It's great to have you both here. So first, Colin, what is your reaction to Combs' arrest and Combs' indictment?
Well, I think I was on one of your shows at the very outset of this when the search warrant occurred, and I was asked, okay, why didn't they arrest him and indict him right on the spot? And my statement then was they're putting their case together because he's such a public figure and he has so many resources, they want to make sure they get it right. So when I saw this indictment, as well as the detention memo that the prosecutor put over, it looks to me like they really, really did their homework and they're really making sure that these charges stick.
So, Robin, what do you think? Because this is interesting. You heard Damian Williams say they're confident their office should handle it. You know, there were raids in California and Florida. There seemed to be a connection to New York, saying that this criminal organization, this criminal enterprise, was based or had headquarters in the Southern District. What do you make of this case being spearheaded by them, and what do you make of the indictment that we saw?
Yeah, there are no stronger prosecution unit than the Southern District of New York. They have a special unit that is designed to take cases such as these sex trafficking, RICO, organized crime rings. So I think Damian Williams is stating it pretty clearly and correctly that the Southern District of New York would be on anyone's top list of units of government agencies that would be able to handle something like this with the celebrity and the complexities and the number of witnesses because it is such a elite and heavy conviction centered prosecution unit.
The indictment and the bail letter that was put forward by the prosecution, serious accusations. I mean, disturbing to say the least. And even though we don't know all the evidence, and we're going to get into some of it, they seem to be very confident in their case. But it also, we don't know how many victims there were. It seems that one of the charges is at least with respect to just one victim. Racketeering cases can be complicated. But saying that, do you feel that this is a strong case based on the allegations put forward?
Yeah, this is one of the strongest sex trafficking cases that I've ever seen. While the indictment was not as detailed as I was expected, and there were some allegations that I suspected might be made that were not, such as, underage victims or, perhaps murder or, things like that. This was focused enough and had enough meat that I feel like it'll be very difficult, to sort of get out of these allegations. It seems like they've interviewed a number of witnesses. I think they said at least 50 victims and witnesses that have already been sort of interviewed and have agreed to cooperate in this, and I'm sure that there are many more, and they're even looking for more. So I think that they feel pretty strongly that they've put together a strong package, and I think they're pretty confident.
Do you agree the way he was arrested? This became a big issue yesterday. He came to New York, was at the Park Hyatt. He and his attorneys knew he was going to be hit with charges. In fact, his attorney said to the media before the indictment was unsealed, we anticipate racketeering and sex trafficking charges. But yet, despite that, they took issue with the way that he was arrested and he was apprehended and taken into custody. I think he wanted to surrender himself. Do you disagree or agree with the way that it was handled?
I'm a little agnostic on that. The bottom line is he's accused of very, very serious crimes. I mean, there was allegedly harm done to people. And if they want to go out and arrest him and do it in that manner, that's their prerogative. And frankly, that's their right. So for them to say, well, he was going to turn himself, he was going to do this, we don't know what he's going to do, because right after or near the time of when the first search warrant was done at his place in LA, apparently he got on a plane and flew down to Florida. So he's already shown a propensity to move when there's pressure. So I think the New York authorities thought, well, we got to make sure we get this right. We want to take any chances of a flight from this guy, because if they tried to track him down in a foreign country, it would be an absolute nightmare.
By the way, I was talking last night about this, and I was asked, why didn't he just leave the country? Right? He knew the charges were coming. Why didn't he just leave the country? And I said, well, the authorities could have arrested him immediately on the spot if they knew. But would that mean that they were tracking him beforehand? They knew when he was boarding a flight? And he's been moving around, right? He hasn't just stayed in one place during the course of this investigation. What would have prevented him from getting on the plane, having a flight plan for, I don't know, let's say California, let's say Colorado, let's say New York, and just saying, keep going and go to some country that doesn't have extradition? What prevented him from doing that? And what would be the way authorities could track him and stop him from doing that?
Well, to do that, it takes a lot of moving parts, because he's going to have to get pilots that are going to participate in that conspiracy to flee. The pilots also have to file a flight plan. They also have to pick a country to go to that's going to be friendly to his issues, that's not going to extradite him. And he also, when that plan is filed, then he has to go through a process with Customs and Border Protection to be, in terms of being able to go to the next country. So I'm sure he had considered that, and I'm sure he took the advice of his lawyers and decided not to do that, because if he had fled, then this would have amplified, and then the full force of the United States government would have come down on tracking him down and bringing him back.
Do you think they were tracking him, though? Like, not necessarily like they had a surveillance team watching him at all times, but do you think investigators, do you think federal authorities kind of knew what he was doing?
Well, I think based upon the number of people who have come forward in terms of the indictment, I think they had people that were likely reporting on him, reporting on his actions and his movements, as well as the fact that they put so many resources into this. It would be reasonable for them to be watching his phones, watching his computer activity, and frankly having more people around him who are informing on him and his behavior.
I want to go into some of the evidence now and talk about what could be the strongest pieces. And to be clear, it's not entirely evident what the prosecution has, what people said to them, what the physical evidence is, what the digital evidence is, but let's go through it. So the prosecution says that many of the accusations against Combs can be corroborated by witnesses. And this is mentioned several times in the prosecution's letter to Judge Robin Tarnowski, where they were arguing against bail. For example, on page 2 of that letter, it says, quote, "At least a dozen witnesses will confirm that they personally observed the defendant's violence towards women and or the injury sustained by women at the defendant's hand." Then on page 11, it says, "Dozens of victims and witnesses have provided detailed, credible, and corroborated information against the defendant." Page 13, quote, "As to witnesses to date, the government has conducted interviews with over 50 victims and witnesses, many of whom saw or experienced the defendant's abuse. The government only expects that number to continue to grow, given that the investigation, which is now public, is ongoing." So, Colin, how does law enforcement even go about this? Finding these people, conducting these interviews? What do you think that's about?
Well, 2 points here. Number one, he corroborated his behavior himself with that video that came out of him assaulting his girlfriend in the hotel, which was somewhat hard to watch as a father of a daughter and somebody who's been in law enforcement. Secondly, you talk to one person, and the most basic question you ask at the beginning, middle, or the end of the interview, is there anybody else? oh yeah, I have this girlfriend that also suffered this this type of behavior from him. And then you go to that person, and oh yeah, I got this person, I get this. So it ends up being a string or a network of people, because frankly, these women are most likely associates with each other or know each other, and they may even be close friends, and they've been in the circle that was basically targeted by Sean P. Diddy Combs, as well as the people around him that were assisting him in this behavior.
And we're going to also get to this a little bit when we talk about the digital evidence, but how do authorities corroborate what they're being told? Is it they hear a consistent pattern over speaking to multiple people? If 5 people say the same thing, okay, unless they coordinated this, it looks like it might be true, or it looks like there might be probable cause here. Or is it also looking at their phones, looking at other evidence that was collected during the course of the raids and saying that matches up to their story? I imagine the fact that, I said this before and I'll say it again, the idea that anybody can sue anybody. I mean, you're not supposed to file frivolous lawsuits, but it seems on the outset that you have prosecutors who are believing the accounts of these accusers, at the very least, it seems, Cassandra Ventura, and filing criminal charges based on those accounts. So it seems that, authorities are believing what's being told, and they have the corroboration. It's not just the accounts of these people, but other evidence to back it up. Now, again, their stories might be similar, but I guess the question is, how do authorities corroborate what they're being told?
Well, the first thing, pattern is corroboration. So if you have 50 people saying the behavior was the same pattern, or he took the same actions, and he's been accused. We don't know until he's seen his day in court what really happened. But that's the first level of corroboration. The second thing is, apparently they seized videos from his house in California, and that's going to be extreme corroboration right there, because it's going to play out right in front of them. And then the third piece of this is the digital evidence, is the text messages, is the communications that he had with these women based upon, and every one of them is likely saved those text messages on their phones and were able to give screenshots to the authorities. So it appears to me that the evidence is overwhelming. However, we're only going to know if it truly is overwhelming, once he has his day in court.
I think it is interesting how many people were apparently interviewed. And we're not entirely sure if all the people who filed lawsuits against Sean Combs are the main accusers, but it seems to me, at least from Cassandra Ventura's point of view, it seems that prosecutors have built their case based on those allegations. And I said this yesterday, and I say it today. It's one thing for somebody to sue somebody else, right? We have a lower standard. They shouldn't file frivolous lawsuits, but you have to, filing a civil lawsuit is very different than criminal charges. For prosecutors to believe these accounts and seemingly have it, people who are corroborating one another, there's a pattern there, but also maybe corroborated by the digital evidence, that is very significant, that you have civil lawsuits that may have triggered a criminal prosecution.
I think that's right. I think that the civil complaints, which we saw, there were many, definitely got the ball rolling. But I would say that it was the video of Cassie, that violent incident that we saw in that hotel lobby that I guess came out of the blue, that really was what I think put the nail in the coffin. That was actually cited to in the indictment as something that they planned to use as evidence. And actually, I believe, led to the enhancements that we saw on what they're seeking as far as prison time.
And essentially, he could be looking at life in prison if he's convicted across the board. I am curious, is it a clear case for you when you hear the different accounts? Because they're saying there's a lot there. They're saying he operated a criminal organization that engaged in forced labor, kidnapping, arson, violence. They're saying that it was a common purpose to protect Diddy, to satisfy his sexual desires, to make money. There's a lot thrown out there. Is this a tough case to ultimately prosecute? And then you have the sex trafficking charge. You have the transportation for purposes of prostitution charge. Is this a tough case to prosecute? Is it a clear case to prosecute?
Yeah, I think it's always a tough case, right? I think that a lot of work and evidence has gone into leading up to now in terms of bringing this indictment, in terms of having that initial hearing and sort of having him arrested and bringing these charges. However, I do think that Diddy has very competent legal counsel. I think that they have seen this probably coming for some time. I think that while this case feels like R. Kelly all over again to me, where you obviously have, sort of a video of an underage person, that was involved and introduced, I think that this has, sort of samplings of that, but I assume that the defense is going to say that he did not do this, right? That this wasn't an organized crime syndicate that the prosecutors are accusing him of. This is a group of friends having a sex party. Yeah, it's not what you want to necessarily hear about. No one really possibly, likes it, but it is what it is. People like Diddy, people wanted to be around him, and they allowed themselves to be sort of manipulated sometimes into perhaps doing things that sound unsavory when heard in the news. I think that is the crux of what the defense's sort of argument will be, and I guess the question will be, what do you believe?
Continue on with this. When agents ended up searching Combs' homes back in March, they left with a lot of evidence. There were weapons, both seemingly legal and illegal. U.S. Attorney Damian Williams showed photographs of some of them during that news conference.
Here are some of the items that we recovered during the searches. As you can see here, this is a drum magazine, large capacity, and it contains, I believe, 59 rounds. I mentioned as well, we recovered 3 AR-15s. This is a close-up shot of one of the AR-15s, and you can see right here, the serial number has been thoroughly defaced. Another picture of more ammunition and parts of 2 AR-15s right there.
So the government is making the case that he did not do this on his own. He did not act alone. There were people who were around him. There were people who were helping him. And at the very least, there were witnesses to what was going on. I mean, for a conspiracy and criminal enterprise, racketeering, those kind of charges itself, you need more than just yourself. You need others. Someone needs to be a part of it. And just to go back to the indictment, one of the central allegations are these alleged illegal sexual events. So coming from the indictment, it says, quote, Combs and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise wielded the power and prestige of Combs' role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into Combs' orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Combs then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sex acts with male commercial sex workers that Combs referred to as, among other things, freak-offs. Freak-offs were elaborate and produced sex performances that Combs arranged, directed, pleasured himself during, and often electronically recorded. In arranging these freak-offs, Combs, with the assistance of members and associates of the Combs enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial sex workers across state lines and internationally. Freak-offs occurred regularly, sometimes lasted multiple days, and often involved multiple commercial sex workers. During freak-offs, Combs distributed a variety of controlled substances to victims, in part to keep the victims obedient and compliant. Sometimes, unbeknownst to the victims, Combs kept videos he filmed of victims engaging in sex acts with commercial sex workers. It goes on to say that members and associates of the Combs enterprise, including high-ranking supervisors, security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and other Combs business employees, facilitated the freak-offs. And that has become the question. Could other people be in trouble? Could they be prosecuted too? Now, to be clear, Combs is the only one who's currently charged right now. He's the only one named in that indictment. No one else is actually listed in that indictment. No one else is referenced by name. It is very general. But in the government's detention memo to the court arguing why Combs should be denied bail, and by the way, he's since been denied bail twice, they write, quote, the investigation into his and other co-conspirators' conduct is active and ongoing. And you know what spurned that question for us about whether other people could be in trouble too? Some of the reaction that we have been seeing post-indictment. Sports analyst Stephen A. Smith asking if people in Hollywood are scared.
Are the folks in Hollywood lying back in wait, wondering who's next? If you have workers that you can target and they can be punished, it's presumed they're going to dime him out. And ultimately, they're going to force him to comply. And Diddy is going to dime out a whole bunch of people.
Then we have broadcast personality Charlemagne, who said on The Breakfast Club that others could be in trouble.
If he gets racketeering and sex trafficking for freak-offs, it will be others involved. Have you ever been butt naked anywhere with Diddy, or half butt naked with Diddy, and there was some women around, or some men around, that he told you were part of the party? You probably going to jail.
Rapper Foxy Brown wrote on her Instagram story, S about to really get crazy. So I guess the implication is maybe other people might be a part of this. Now, to be very clear, they're just commenting on the indictment. They aren't accused of being a part of this case in any way. And to couple that, here's what rapper 50 Cent had to say before the indictment back in August in an interview with Us Weekly. He wrote, "I'm the only person in hip-hop culture who has produced any hit television. Why wouldn't I be the person to produce it? And I'm not on the tapes. See, some of the people who have been around in the culture who are not saying anything, that's because they've been to the parties. They don't know what part of their experiences are on tape. So it keeps them quiet, and it looks like I'm the only guy, but I've been for years that something's not right." And again, he's not been implicated in Combs' alleged criminal allegations in any way. He's just commenting on it. And when you think of Combs, he has always been known for his extravagant parties, the white parties. We talked about this on a previous sidebar, that in light of these disturbing allegations that were made in the multiple lawsuits that he faced, accusing him of sexual assault and sex trafficking, that this is something that became an issue. In fact, here's what Ashton Kutcher said about Combs' parties on the show Hot Ones.
Okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either.
Then, this was NBA star LeBron James' comment.
Oh, hey, everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
We heard from rapper Uncle Luke, who spoke with the podcast We in Miami.
Did you party with Diddy a lot?
Oh, no, not really. I would go to the party and leave early.
Why wouldn't you stay?
I go to the party and leave early. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know what goes on after hours, but
He wasn't trying to find
I
out.
wasn't trying to find out.
Now, to be clear, these statements from Kutcher, James, Uncle Luke, they were before this criminal indictment, and some even before these allegations of Combs even surfaced. And we have no indication or evidence that they knew anything that's being alleged or in any way a part of this case whatsoever. I just want to be clear about that. So as Combs currently sits behind bars after being denied bail twice, and as this case and investigation continue, I want to talk about this. So for that, I want to bring on Afi Patterson, attorney out of Los Angeles, litigation attorney out of Los Angeles. I like to think of her as our resident hip-hop expert. She knows so much about this, a hip-hop trial expert, I should say. Knows the ins and outs, has been following a lot of these cases recently. Afi, thank you so much for coming on. It's good to see you. As I said, it's been a minute since we've had a chance to talk. I'm going to ask you the question I've asked every single person I've asked this week. Your reaction to the arrest and indictment of Sean Combs. Is it what you expected?
I said this back in November. Yes, absolutely, it's what I expected. I think that he was indicted a long time ago, and the indictment was held. I think they've had this, they've had this for a minute. The question is, that's everybody's asking right now is, are there going to be other people? But what we've seen right now is just one person. When people think of RICO, they think, of course, of a huge enterprise. But all you need with RICO is one person, two acts over a 10-year period. It's super easy to get a RICO charge, and it's super easy, of course, to get an indictment. So it's absolutely what I expected, and I also expect a conviction, a swift one.
But in the indictment, they mention not one or two people. They mention a network. They're mentioning a lot of people who helped be a part of this or facilitated this. So is there a feeling right now? And I guess the question could be, when you hear these statements being made by prosecutors in their filings and the United States attorney in this press conference, the argument is, and you correct me if I'm wrong, is this a siren out to everybody? Listen, he just got indicted. You come to us before we come to you. Do you get that sense?
No, I think that when you put the full weight of the U.S. Attorney's Office behind any statement, it's intimidating. I think that it was more like, you'll be in trouble if you don't
respond favorably to us. And we see that in that only one person was charged. Only Puffy was charged in this RICO issue. And I think more than anything, they want people to participate. They want people to willingly provide information. They don't want to have to bring down the full weight of the office and, use unnecessary resources. Come forward if you have information. If we know who you are and where you are and we come to talk to you, play nice with us. And nothing will happen. That's what I got from that.
Why do you think there was only one person mentioned in this indictment? Obviously, there could be a superseding indictment. There could be other people who are additionally charged. We've seen that in cases before. Do you think that this is common?
God damn, Shorty got some big ass titties. Hold on, who that? Who that is y'all? Girl, okay, get your ugly ass. Let's see the girl with the titty. Ooh, bitch. What's them here? 38 double D. Damn. Okay, sister. I wish you would whore something a little bit more revealing. See? You see? Fuck, I'm messing up. This how they got Diddy. This how they got Diddy. This is called, what am I doing? I'm objectifying or sexualizing or chauvinistic. What am I doing again? I don't even know, man. They got so many goddamn internet words. I'm just saying the girl look good, man. The girl got some nice jugs on her, man. The girl look good, man. That's a good looking sister. You know what I mean? Like, I'm tired of this 2024, man. Y'all got name for everything. He's a sexist. Man, she got some big boy. Shit, when I pull out my logger, you know what I'm saying, and put that rod on you, shit, a girl say, oh my, you have a huge cock. I don't get mad. Never, ever have I said, don't demean me. Don't sexualize me. I'm embarrassed by that. Girls tell me all the time, whoa, wait, you got a huge cock. Oh, I call myself Dirt Diggler. The fuck? Boy, I be in that thing like I'm digging for gold. And I go slow too. I don't pound cake. I ain't trying to pound cake nothing because I don't want that thing to be sore. I want that thing to feel good. I want you to feel that thing. Paul say, you know what I'm saying? I want to feel the V12 when I was running. I want you to feel that thing. I want you to, boy. Ooh, boy. You know what I'm saying? Take your time. Like, girls like when you take your time with that thing. You know what I mean? You ain't got to get in there and crush. It ain't red pepper flakes. It ain't peppercorn. You ain't trying to put peppercorn on the steak when you trying to hit that thing. You know what I'm saying? When you up in that thing, when you up in that yapper, you trying to... I mean, sometimes you might switch the flow a little bit, but that's just a little bit. Just to let her know you still there. You know what I mean? A little ta-ta-ta. Look. You know what I mean? Just to let her know. Just to pop. I'm here with you, baby. But let her know the force you can put on her. bitch, I could turn into Luke Skywalker right now, bitch. Or I could turn into Darth Vader. What you want? All right, let's finish watching the video because I don't even know what. No. I'm sorry, guys. You have to forgive me. I have these moments of flashbacks when I do what I do, how I do, what I do. Ooh, that's a bar. Bars!
A siren out to everyone.
Nigga, full of bars.
He just got indicted. You come to us before we come to you. Do you get that sense?
Indicted. You happy?
Yeah,
sound
I
happy?
think that
Elvis
when you
Presley
put the full weight of the U.S. Attorney's Office behind any statement, it's intimidating. I think that it was more like you'll be in trouble if you don't respond favorably to us. And we see that in that only one person was charged. Only Puffy was charged in this RICO issue. And I think more than anything, they want people to participate. They want people to willingly provide information. They don't want to have to bring down the full weight of the office and, use unnecessary resources. Come forward if you have information. If we know who you are and where you are and we come to talk to you, play nice with us, and nothing will happen. That's what I got from that.
Why do you think there was only one person mentioned in this indictment? Obviously, there could be a superseding indictment. Mm-hmm. There could be other people who are additionally charged. We've seen that in cases before. Do you think that this is common to just indict Sean Combs, the alleged head of this organization, and that we might see other people indicted? Or do you think there's something else there, that they already have everybody that they need? They are going to be cooperating witnesses. There's nobody else to charge at this time.
I don't think there's anyone else to charge at this time. I think they wanted Puffy and they went after him and they got what they needed. And now all they need is more support to buoy their position. I think that if anything, with the more people that come forward, there could be more charges. I'll tell you, when I read the indictment, I thought that there would be more financial crimes, more drug crimes. I was a little shocked that it was mainly surrounding the facts that we saw in Ventura's complaint back in November. So if anything, I think more charges are possible.
Well, I guess the question is, you can know Sean Combs and not be indicted. There has to be more to be criminally charged. You don't believe that they've spoken to the people who have been working with Combs and saying, listen, I can prosecute you if you are facilitating these freak-offs and you are drugging people or you're bringing people across lines for commercial sex and you're engaging in this. I could easily charge you with racketeering, but I'm going to work out a deal with you where I won't prosecute you. You just have to testify against Combs. You don't think that's happened behind the scenes already?
Absolutely, that's happened.
Because you said before, I don't think there's any deals to be made. I don't think anybody else is to be charged. There are people who could be charged.
No, I don't think anybody else is going to be charged.
But you say that there are people who could be that the government knows.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I think that they'll be testifying, and if he does not take a plea, if they don't offer him anything, there's going to be so much that comes out that just shocks everybody.
So, Afi, let's say you have a client, and they say to you, listen, my gosh, look, I went to 12 of Diddy's parties. How do I know I'm in trouble? What makes someone in trouble if they're at these parties? Is it that they attended them? Is it they witnessed it, they didn't do anything? Is it that they partook in it? What would make somebody in legal trouble from a criminal standpoint?
Good question.
Well, if we look at the indictment and, look at the charges, and it's all about facilitation. So I wouldn't necessarily be concerned if you were an attendee. I don't think you're a target if you're an attendee. I don't think that supports their prosecution of Puffy, Sean Combs.
Answer the question, sis.
I would say it's nothing I would worry about, and I wouldn't go ahead and volunteer any information. Nobody's looking for you if you're just a participant at a party. Be quiet, sit down, relax your nerves, and I just probably counsel them on that. But I think that if you were any type of employee, if you were there, if you were, a driver, a bodyguard, a chef, if you were a trainer, any of the service workers who were around, anybody, a publicist, anybody who worked on behalf of the Combs empire, they should be concerned. But attendees, I wouldn't say it's a big deal.
Because it's aiding and abetting, right?
Good answer. Good answer.
If you're facilitating, if you're working with the Combs enterprise, I think that's what the prosecution would be looking at. You are facilitating these criminal activities.
Let's say you engaged in one of these freak-offs. Do you think you could be prosecuted for it?
I don't think so. I think, freak-offs, prostitution, it's such an interesting line, when we're talking about morality versus illegality. Participating in a freak-off, to what extent did you participate in it? What role did you play? Was it